trying to free your mind, Neo, but I can only show you the door. You're the one that has to walk through it. You have to let it all go, Neo. Fear, doubt, and disbelief. Free your mind.
This is the Mind is Mine podcast.
I fucks with that.
Yes, sir. What it do, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Houston of Mind is Mine podcast. It is episode 5, and we got a special guest, my boy RC. How you doing today, bro?
What's going on, man?
Shit, chilling, man.
Come on.
Love to bring you on because this man has his own brand. He's been through, would you say you've been through hell and back to make this brand?
Most definitely.
For sure. So this brand has a lot of story behind it, a lot of energy behind it, a lot of positivity, along with a good backstory as well. So I'm gonna give you the floor, let you introduce yourself. Who are you? What are you doing in my house?
Oh man, it's crazy. My name is RC. I'm the CEO of a clothing brand by the name of WAGDOD. WAGDOD is an acronym that stands for We're All Gonna Die One Day. So live life to the fullest. Basically, when I was 19, I had a crazy mental episode where I was gonna kill myself. So around that time frame, I started wanting to create a group of people I wish existed when I needed them. And that's just what I set out to do. So I feel like now here we are, 10 years later, and it's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? Just the journey that this shit has taken me on, I just never would have thought. You know what I'm saying? It's just so many different things I had to face and do in order to keep this shit afloat.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And it just put me through so many different tests in life that I know that I would never have been able to face or overcome had I not went down that lane.
Yeah, for sure, bro. First of all, it's a blessing to have you here. It's a blessing that you made the decision to stay here because you're already doing amazing things 10 years later. And then 10 years later from today, I don't know where you'll be, but I'm sure you'll be even higher where you're at here today. Yeah. So, but I wanted to get into that. Actually brings up a good question. So how would you describe the story that led to your brand, pretty much? What would that be?
Like what led up to that episode?
So what inspired you to bring about WAGDOD? Hopefully I said it right.
Yeah,
cool.
You did.
Cool.
WAGDOD. It was a lot of stuff, but at that particular time, it was the pressures of life. Me turning 18, now I'm an adult. You know, I never really had a plan, you know, like I had things that I thought I was interested in doing, but I never had a plan. My mom and dad went to school. Both of them graduated, got diplomas. And they went to school, graduated, college, graduated. So I felt like, first of all, I don't even know what I'm doing. So that just made me almost feel like I was a failure for the most part. So when that time came up, I got into a relationship with a girl. When that foiled, that was just like the boom. Yeah, it was just like the
floodgates
open.
It was
the breaking point of, now I had already, through my whole life, I've experienced what people would call depression, but I didn't know how to label it.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was. It happened all the time, but now that I am who I am now and the things I understand, that's what I was going through. I just didn't realize it. But that particular incident, because I've always been alone. I've never had a strong relationship with either of my parents, with anybody, to be honest, ever. So with that girl, that was the first time I had ever felt that. And then to have it yanked away was just like, what the fuck is this? Like, It's like something just snapped. Like everything just opened up. It's like I just started actually seeing what the fuck was going on. And from there, I'm like, man, like I hate this feeling I got. And I would hate for anybody else to feel this way. So let me start congregating groups of people that with like minds like me, and I'm gonna figure it out from there.
Yes, sir.
And that's what I set out to do.
That's a beauty, bro. I can definitely relate in some way, shape, or form. Relationships haven't always been the best to me. I've been somebody that is kind of cooped up in my own world pretty much, in which I've been happy with that. But as I started to get older, I started to rely on external relationships. And as I started to rely on external relationships, it kind of took away from the main relationship that I should be focused about, and that's myself and building myself up. I would say that transition from focusing on myself and my own world and transitioning towards more being for people and not having a balance, that was around like 8th or freshman year, 8th grade, freshman year, somewhere around there. So that's 2014. And you're saying about 10 years ago. So that was 2014 as well?
10 years ago for me was 20, so hold on. When did I graduated 2012?
Okay.
So it was around that time frame. Cause
I got you.
it was like 2012 around that time frame. Cause I remember I ended up having to go to summer school cause I didn't graduate by half a credit. So they made me go to summer school for one class. And that already had me feeling some type of way. But then when I finished all that out, it was like I was just set free into this world of what is this? Now I'm an adult. So yeah, it was around 2012. It was around that time. Yeah. 2013.
Yeah.
So.
That's a whole different world too. Like chewing back to that. I'm in 8th grade at this time. So yeah, that's a completely different world. But how I relate to that is all those years of building up for people and surrounding myself with relationships, but not really focusing on the main relationship, which is myself and building myself up, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, especially. It kind of put me in the spot of being vulnerable to, if that were stripped away, then I would be lost. And that got stripped away around the same time COVID came. Obviously the real one stayed, my roommate, he stayed, and I made a couple of good friends during that time. But I went through relationship issues. I went through infidelity, and also going through a change in my life, finding more like a spiritual path, but also at the same time, you know, I didn't come from a spiritual family. So me taking those steps and, you know, making that change in my life, it definitely became a lot more rough for me to make more connections, because it was like, now you're at like more pick and choose. Like you gotta select certain type of people to be around. Like the energy's gotta be, it's gotta resonate. It's gotta be aligned. So at a certain point, I was just like, I was really going through it mentally, and I felt like I didn't know my worth at a certain point. And I'm very grateful for lockdown, because that helped me. That was like the rehabilitation for me. Just staying with my family and being focused. You talking
about during the COVID lockdown?
Yeah, COVID.
Okay.
And yeah, just being around my family, and that helped. But at the same time, I'm going through all these changes in my life, and I didn't really have the biggest support system besides maybe 2 or 3 people, because my family didn't understand as well. So that, at the time at least, that relationship started to not drift, but like widen a little bit. The gap's starting to widen, because I'm going this direction and they're going in this direction, but they want me to go in this direction as well. So it's just like, yeah, I'm getting pulled in so many different ways, and relationships are collapsing. And I'm making new relationships into something like a lifestyle, the spiritual lifestyle that I'm not completely used to. So I've never gotten to the point where I wanted to like end it, but that was probably like the biggest struggle, because it was just like I was lost. I didn't know what direction I wanted to go. So I wanted to ask you, like, anybody that is going through that, and since you've been going through that and you've gone through it in a very deep way, what would you say to them?
The first thing I would do is get a person to figure out what actually, pay attention to your body, because your body shows you a lot of shit, and we ignore it, or we either don't understand how to interpret what it's telling us.
That is facts.
So at the end of the day, whenever you're doing something you love, your body releases certain chemicals like the oxytocin and things of that nature. Whenever you're doing something that you actually enjoy doing, your body gives you this feeling of
serotonin.
Yes, it's telling you, like, it's showing you this is the path. This is the way.
Yeah.
What you need to figure out is how can you sustain a lifestyle, like pay your bills off of something that you also love to do. That right there alone will put you in a position where you constantly able to receive happiness from yourself and also have a sustainable way to survive. You feel what I'm saying? That's the first thing I would get a person to do. Figure out what it is you actually love to do and continue to do that thing. Make it part of your schedule. Make everything about what you chasing in life to do those things that you thoroughly enjoy doing, that it doesn't require anybody else to do it. You can just do it and it makes you happy. That's the first thing I would say. And once you find a way to create a source of living off that, that's going to automatically, it's a snowball effect from that point forward. That's the first thing I would tell a person to do. Find what makes you happy, not what your parents think you should be doing, not the subject they think you should be taking, what they think your major should be, what they want you to do. What makes you happy when you do it?
That was the issue too. When I was talking about that time period, it was like, I'm finding a new different, because I'm playing baseball at this time and I've always wanted to play in the MLB. And now I'm starting to get a glimpse of maybe this isn't what I want to do at all, because it's like I've gave my life to baseball ever since I was 4th, 5th grade. That's what my dad wanted me to do. My dad poured all his time, his energy, like he was one of my first coaches. So I really didn't want to go down the path of not picking baseball and then having that feeling of
disappointment.
Somebody's disappointing in you because you took a different path that they wanted you to. And it took me a while. It took me a while to settle into that, because I've always been a people person, but to the point where I would give away all my energy for the people where I have nothing left.
So it's almost like people pleasing.
Yes, yes. I found the balance now, but looking back on it, it's like, bro, I'm so happy that I went through that. I'm very, very grateful that I went through that, because those were the trials and the tribulations that I needed to go through for me to come out victorious and find who I was. Would you agree with that in terms of everything that you've been through as well?
Most definitely, like just the trials and tribulations that like gave me like the war wounds I needed in order to survive through everything else that's coming afterwards. 100%. 100%.
Yeah, you gotta be forged through the fire, bro. You have to. And a lot of people don't want to go through that. A lot of people don't want to, and it's temporary. And as you would say, it's all in your head as well.
Yeah.
So we kind of, it doesn't have to be as hard as it needs to be. And at that point, when I'm looking back on it, I'm like, bro, there's so many decisions and there's so many opportunities right in front of me for me to just not push it aside, but have a different perspective. But I didn't have that. And, you know, later on down the road, I ended up obtaining that. And obviously every single day, my perspective is changing. Is always looking for growth, and every day there's an opportunity to grow. You know, every day should not be the same. If every day is the same, then that kind of adds the fuel to the fire of depression and poor mental health, because it's like we're not engaging in change in our life.
It's like those dead end jobs.
Exactly. I just recently got out of a job at BMW. Though it sounds nice, it was just not something I wanted to do. And after a certain point, it was just like, man, I really, like, I can't stand doing this anymore.
And you said, where was it?
BMW.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it's a nice car. Like, you're driving nice cars for the most part.
It was at a dealership?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the biggest one, I think, in the region, in the Midwest region.
Where is that?
Autohaus.
I heard of it.
On Hanley, right across the street from Porsche and Ferrari.
Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Alfa Romeo. Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I was working there, and it was just like, it got to a certain point where I was getting late to work. I had 20 different bosses at a certain point just telling me what to do. And it was just like, bro, I was working like 6 days out of 7 days a week. Yeah, bro. it took a toll on me for sure. And now that I'm at a better job now for sure. But obviously it's not solidifying what I want to do, because this is what I want to do. Like, I would love to have this platform talking about Mr. Psychology, talking about growth, talking about mental health, talking about creativity and how creativity can, help free us from negativity. So how would you say, in terms of your creativity, how has that freed you, and how is that continuing to free you day by day as you grow?
Just like the things that I've been through, and then like how it has basically opened my mind up to be able to like create things.
Yeah. And like creativity alone, how has that been a savior in a way?
Man, it's like one thing that I've grown like an addiction to is like once I create something or come out with something and then people actually like it.
Yeah.
But it was just an idea in my head, like something that you just thought of randomly. You sit down and write it down. You put it on the computer, get the order made, and you get it in, and people love it just based off something that was an idea in your head. Like that's like I kind of grew an addiction to that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like that's the center of that for me. Like and that okay. So for instance, like you wearing a hat right now, like. Come on now, the fuck the pressure. I got the hoodie.
Come on,
man. And it's like just the thought of this is the mentality I want to push out into the world. I'm able to make an idea that's cool enough for people to fuck with, and then they take it and wear it and use it for what I was meant for it to use. That's just a feeling that you can't beat that.
And it's inspirational too. So it's like, not only are you creating something that is fun to make, it's a clothing brand, but it also stands for something way deeper than clothing itself.
Exactly.
It's deeper than the surface level. It's deeper than the material itself. That's what really caught my eye when I first met you at was it Word Up?
Yep.
It was Word Up. Yeah. Shout out to Word Up though. Y'all doing a great job, man.
Shout out to Energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But meeting you, like the energy that you were giving me, and like when you told me the story too, it wasn't like any sorrow at all. It was just like, bro, I'm happy I went through that.
Yep.
Because if I never went through that, this may not have been a thing. Like this may not have been here. Yeah. So it's like, it's just a testament that you have to go through your dark days. You have to go through the darkest days for you to see the brightest light.
Exactly.
And I love that, bro. I love that. But lately here, and to second what you were talking about in terms of like seeing it on people and just getting the joy that people actually mess with the stuff that you put out. You're on a podcast tour right now.
Yeah.
Like showing your brand, talking about who you are, talking about your story, and then whatever else comes after that is just a conversation. But what have you learned from your podcast tour, pretty much? What is something that have you learned about yourself and learned about your brand, let alone the world around you through the podcast tour?
Mental health is a trending topic right now. And people actually are very interested in figuring out ways that they can deal with their mental health. And I feel like when I come onto people's podcasts like that, it's almost like I can see that I'm a breath of fresh air for them. You know what I'm saying? Because not to say that nobody else's content that they talking about ain't, the shit or nothing, but it's like, can I curse? Yeah, so, no. When somebody come out, bust out, no cursing.
As long as it's not like shit, like
right, just going crazy. But I just think it's cool because I'm noticing that the mental health stuff is really a thing, and I know for a fact that when I be leaving people podcasts, I know that they be retaining the stuff that I'm saying and really taking it in. And I could just see it when I'm talking to them. You know what I'm saying? And these are people that they don't even speak about topics like that. But when I come into their presence, we bring up them uncomfortable things to talk about. And I could just see how it resonate with them so much, and it make them really fuck with what I got going on.
That's one thing we need to normalize too. Is like, I'm part of an internship with Story Stitchers. Shout out to Story Stitchers, nonprofit that gives ages 16 through 25, a free space to create, collaborate with artists, collaborate with different organizations and different people around the city for financial opportunities, business opportunities, job opportunities. Where is it? We're based out of, we're right behind the Fox Theater, right in between the Fox Theater.
Off Grand?
We're not off Grand. What are we off of? Grandel Square, I think, or somewhere around there.
The Fox Theater on Grand, right?
Yeah.
So it's
like right behind
Understood.
the parking lots there.
Understood.
In between that and
I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, bro. I love it. I love it. But I'm part of an internship creating PSAs for the Black community and destigmatizing mental health and how, especially in the Black community, we kind of put mental health in the back burner. We don't want to talk about it sometimes. You know, we've always been taught to stick out your chest, thug it out. You know, don't worry about it. You ain't depressed or you ain't sad. Like, you just gotta push through it. But we have to normalize those conversations and also normalize getting comfortable with the uncomfort and being able to talk about it, being able to take the time to actually communicate with yourself, because like you said, the body will communicate to you whenever it's comfortable, uncomfortable, and you can tell when it's the bad type of uncomfortable, like you're in an environment or you're in the space where you shouldn't be and you need to get out of there, or the type of uncomfortable like, hey, it's time to get through the fire. It's time to get forged through the fire right now. And this is the uncomfort that you need. So I think that's something that needs to be normalized, that we have those conversations. And when we had that conversation, that Word Up, for the first time that we ever met, I was very, like, it was a breath of fresh air, like you said, because off rip, you were willing to talk about it. And not only that, but your brand represents that. Like, when people look at Fuck Depression, it pretty much, like, a lot of people not feel too good about looking at that sometimes, because it brings up uncomfort, especially the people that have been through those type of moments, that those type of episodes, those, you know, that era of life. So I'm glad that you're doing that, and you're not doing it in a harmful way. You're not doing it in a way that's kind of authoritarian. You're just like, hey, you're doing it in a way through creativity, which is a blessing to the world. We're all creators. And for you to take your creative abilities and create a brand that uplifts people and wants to destigmatize those uncomfortable conversations. I love it, bro. I'm so glad that you're doing that. So I appreciate you for that.
Thank you. And I like how you said, like, the authority. I'm doing it in a way to where I want to give that person the authority to be able to fight through it. You feel what I'm saying? So the whole point of the brand is to give you the power to control anything going on in your mind. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. It's like people support you by buying your stuff, but at the end of the day, when they buy your stuff, you're actually supporting them.
Exactly.
Because the message that you're giving out, and I love that, bro. I want to sidetrack away from the brand, away from the questions I have, because we picked the same artists for our albums. So y'all know what I like to do. I like to have albums out. I love music. And we picked Mr. Kendrick Lamar, in my opinion, the greatest rapper to ever do it. But that's subjective, of course. I picked To Pimp a Butterfly. You picked Good Kid, Mad City. I want you to go first. Why'd you pick Good Kid, Mad City?
So when I was going through that episode at that time, this was it. That was 2012 when this shit came out.
That came out that year. Yeah, exactly. That's crazy.
So when that was happening, I was working at Steak and Shake. That was my first job. And I was working overnights. So I just had all night to listen to full albums of music. So this was that, you know, we kind of had a golden era of hip hop for us. That Tyler, the Creator, ASAP Rocky, that whole little time frame, the Mac Miller, the Kendrick,
when
that
Drake
whole
was good.
You feel what I'm saying? Like that whole little thing, that little pocket, Joey Badass, like that whole little pocket was just album after album. I was hella excited about music at the time. And this shit stood out to me, like, from beginning to end. It was a story, and I just fuck with it to death, because I felt a lot of similarities to the story, just because of, like, my background. Like, you know what I'm saying? I felt like he the type of dude where that shit was around him, but he wasn't necessarily. He never really was like banging like that, but it was enough around him to where it influenced him in a lot of ways.
Yeah, all he had at that point before dropping that was Section 80.
Exactly.
So it's like, bro, he didn't have enough out there to really compete with the Drakes or
J. Cole had already been out for a while.
Yeah. J. Cole came out before him. He dropped Born Sinner on 13 and 13. So he didn't have the catalog to compete with like a Drake or at the time Lil Wayne or a Kanye, because Kanye then dropped Yeezus. Like he just came off of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. So like he's on fire right now.
That was one of my favorite albums too. I fought with that.
Yeah. I gotta get that on vinyl.
Yeah.
I feel like that's too hard to find. Everybody's getting that.
No, for real.
But I feel like, and that was the one reason why I picked him as well. It's like he's very relatable. Like he does storytelling. It's still storytelling in a way that you can relate to, and it's like, bro, I feel you. Especially on Damn. Like Damn was like,
man, that's the one I would have picked if I didn't see that.
Yeah. I'm glad that this vinyl has very significance towards the story that we're telling right now, towards you, your brand, and where you're at today. So
that shit helped me make it through.
Yeah. What's the best song on there though?
Damn.
We're counting deluxe songs as well, because the deluxe was fire.
I feel like, damn, is that the album? I wonder when I'm feeling down. I'm there. My hands in the air.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say, I'm real.
That's not Mary J. Blige, but that's real.
Yeah. That's one. That's probably one of my favorite songs on there. And then, damn, I forgot that. I feel like it was a Shireen song. I feel like
Shireen, aka Master Splinter.
Yeah. So like, I gotta I ain't super good with remembering the names to it, but like
the lyrics.
Yes, I know. I'm gonna know that song top to bottom. Then one iconic part of that album was them bitch ass niggas killed my brother.
Yeah.
When they I felt that shit. I'm like, this shit hard.
And then it went into Seen About Me.
Yep.
Which was like the hardest hitting song.
Was that Dying of Thirst, Sing About Me Dying?
Yeah, bro, that was the hardest hitting song on that album for sure.
That was like,
bro.
I'm listening to this working overnight in the drive-through in between the cars and shit. I'm like, bruh, hold on, I'm gonna pause this real quick. Welcome to Steak and Shake, and I take your order. You know what I'm saying? Like, welcome to Steak and Shake. What? No, I'm just like,
welcome to Mad C. I mean, Steak and Shake. My bad.
Right. For real.
But nah, bro, I'm glad that everything works the way it needs to. And like the fact that you brought that up, because I brought up Kendrick because I knew that he will relate to the conversation that we were going to have in terms of mental health, especially to Pimp a Butterfly, because it's all about leaving the cocoon and becoming a butterfly, but understanding that you have to go through the cocoon to be a butterfly. So it was just
why you choose yours.
Why? Well, first of all, this is, in my opinion, his best album. It's a poet. It's a poem, pretty much. I love the conversation that he had with Tupac at the end.
Crazy.
The instrumentals, like the production, the jazz, funk type of thing, like it brought a breath of fresh air to hip hop at the time, because not a lot of people were doing that type of sound. Like he had Thundercat, he had George Clinton on there. Like crazy.
Well, he was like a legendary jazz.
George Clinton, like he was funk. I think he was part of Funkadelic too, as well.
Understood.
Yeah, he made Atomic Dog.
I gotta get hip. I
gotta get you hip to that song.
You probably fuck around got that in one of them in your stash over there.
I don't have any George Clinton. I need to. I haven't been to a vinyl store in a very long time, so. I appreciate you bringing that up. I gotta get back to it.
Definitely. I gotta get out there too, man. I ain't never bought a vinyl before.
Yeah, I gotta get to the point. I'm getting to the point now where I'm just gonna start buying like just random vinyls, because I'm starting to get to the point where I'm producing music and everything. I love sampling. Sampling is my favorite. So just take different records, listen to it, and even if I don't sample it, it's just I want to get to a point where I'm playing actual instruments. So like, what are the strings doing? What are the chords doing? What's the bass doing? What's all of these different components of the instrumentation doing? And like, how can I compose that to put that into like an actual song? And then how can I play like just one part, like play guitar one song or play the drums one song, piano? Like that's something I want to formulate. And we talked about it earlier, how we want to do everything in-house, because you were talking about screen printing and how you were doing that on your own. I feel it's very, very important for those that are creating something, especially if it's a business or a brand of any sort, to learn how to do things in-house before you go ahead
Outsource.
and outsource. Because there's going to be a time where you're not going to be able to outsource.
You might not be able to afford it. And that's usually the biggest thing, not being able to afford to outsource it, because that shit get expensive.
So like, that's something I'm in the middle of. I'm in the middle of my startup, I guess you would say. So like, what advice would you give to anybody that's going through a startup and like trying to do that in-house before they go outsource?
Specifically for clothing or
for anything, honestly, but you can say specifically for clothing if you want to as well.
I always start off with YouTube University.
Facts.
Get on YouTube. It's no matter what you're doing, it's somebody out there that's done what you're doing, is successful at it, and is willing to show you how to do it for free.
That's facts.
YouTube. I would start off there before you even go get to buying these master classes and $27 a month and all that old extra shit. And they send you a link to some goddamn live class before you do all that, get on YouTube. Because 9 times out of 10, the answers are right there. And it's people giving it away for free. They getting paid on the back end from YouTube, so they don't care. You feel what I'm saying? I would start off there. But with this clothing shit, I would just pretty much try to find as many ways as you can to, like how you said, in-house control as much of those expenses as you can. So that's why, like, when I was explaining to the homie when he was talking about how he outsourced it all to that person, 24 each color, and he ended up paying around $500. He could have definitely saved. I would give it around $200. He could have saved $200, and that $200 could have been probably 50 more shirts that he could have made $15 to $20 more off of each shirt. You feel what I'm saying? So
that's a deal, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
that's a deal. And
it's something that, you know what I'm saying? Hey, y'all hit me up. Anybody trying to start anything with the clothing brand, I have absolutely no issue with giving out information. I love giving out information.
Yeah, man, we got to build a community out here, man.
Most definitely.
Especially knowing that we're from the same city. Where in St. Louis are you from, by the way?
All over, like mainly North County.
Yeah.
So I grew up in Riverview, up there in North County.
Yeah.
Some little stuff happened. Then we ended up in North City. And I stayed there for around 3 years. Then went back up to North County. So like as far as living, that's where. But really, like outside type shit, I done been south, north, west, everywhere. East side. I ain't never lived over there, but I done spent some time over there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. I think it's very important. I've stressed that with pretty much everybody that I've had on the podcast, that St. Louis is a grand opportunity to like bring the community together, because we're known for the most murderous city. We're known for dirtiness, STDs and stuff like that. But when you look at it, bro, like we have a lot of greatness that comes out of the city. Athletes, musicians. Maya Angelou was from here as well. So it's like, bro, we have so much potential. It's just we need to bring the community together in a tighter space for that to really like take off at a level that St. Louis has never seen before.
Right, because that's all that stuff, that the negative, that's just the pressure that create the diamonds. You feel what I'm saying? There's a lot of them out here. Just a lot of people don't be having guidance, or they don't be knowing how to get to these people or things, because the things that's glorified that you see going down your timeline all day is the negativity, or the parties where they acting crazy, might be a shootout at the end, or you know what I'm saying. I think what our community need to work on is making our shit more visible, but you have to work damn near 10 times as harder, because when it's not based in negativity, you know, people don't tend to gravitate towards positivity the same way that they do negative. You know
that's true, especially with, you know, how the algorithm is set up for a lot of social media platforms. It's like we got to push that negativity, because sometimes that's a lot more entertaining in the short term than something positive. You know, something positive sometimes doesn't sit with you in that moment. Like there's been plenty of times where I've got a positive quote, or I've read something that was very, very positive, and at the time I didn't think anything of it. Like a week later or something like that, I would be like, okay, this is actually having a lot of substance towards my life right now. And this is like, it's supposed to help in the long term, but people want convenience. People want everything right now. And, a lot of negativity. I mean, that's how the devil works, right? Is through, I can get you everything that you want right now. And if you go down that path, you can get lost in that. You get stuck in it. And to the point where you lose patience. And if you lose patience, then you're kind of throwing out a lot of good things, a lot of positivity out the window, because some things take time and we have to be a part of that process pretty much.
You could really crash yourself out. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Going down them paths like that. That's why I had points in my life where I was allowing the negative. I wanted it. Like I was damn near seeking it. You feel what I'm saying? Just because of, it's almost like I can't even really explain that part of myself. It's almost like, I don't know, like that would be my way to, like, the power that I have had in that realm of negativity. It's just so powerful. You know what I'm saying? Like, just based off how you said, like how people glorify negativity, and then knowing that if I was to do these things, that I would receive that notoriety or that power from it. It was a point in time where I kind of was going into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, just putting myself in situations and doing shit that I know was negative just to receive that feeling of power from it, because I felt powerless, you know, but only to realize the more that you negate that type of stuff and focus on just being the best you can, the power that it take longer. Yeah. But the power that comes from this is a power that makes that child's play. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I just be focused on now. Just like trying to be as positive as I can. You know what I'm saying? And just really just focused on getting to this money and focusing on this brand.
Yeah, we're in the state where society has leaned towards convenience and instant gratification. And I scroll on Facebook. I'm never on Facebook at all. Like I want to build my brand on Facebook, which I plan to. But every time I get on Facebook, I see reels of just people fighting, just dumb things happening, bro. Like it's just like, I don't want to see that. I see that more on Facebook than anywhere else, which is crazy to me, because I look at Facebook as the most family friendly type of
that it's supposed to be.
But it hasn't been that. So I feel like when we start to bring the community together as well, we can create an alternative away from don't even get me started on Twitter right now.
Oh, that's Twitter, crazy.
Don't even start. I'm not even going to talk about Twitter. I'm not even on Twitter.
X.
Yeah. X. Yeah. Yeah, bro. I can't even, because you'll scroll and like you'll see a fight and then you'll see some porn and then it's like, bro.
I swear to God.
Like I'll be in the middle of my job and like I'll scroll. I'm like,
trying to look and see if somebody saw
go
that.
ahead and close the app. So, but also that brings me back to this album as well, because sometimes when we're engulfed in negativity, we're institutionalized in that negativity. And he talks about, there's a song Institutionalized, how he talks about how when he became famous, he went through depression, and there's interviews where he talks about it. He went through depression because fame doesn't solve everything. Money doesn't solve everything. Popularity and validation doesn't solve everything, especially if that's external. Because he was famous, but he still had the same tendencies as he was like living in Compton. And like whenever he tried to bring his friends around, especially to the Grammys, or I think it was like the VMA Awards or something like that, they acted like they were back at home. And it was just like, bro, they were seeing all these watches and all these chains. You're like, man, you lucky I won't snatch that from you right now. So it's like, bro, sometimes we get caught up in that cocoon, in that box, to the point it's like we can't see past that box anymore. And that's why it's even more important to build that community and have people that have seen outside that box and are exploring and thinking outside the box, literally, and showing that to the youth, especially the youth. and say like, there's a different reality than what you're living right now. There's a different reality than all this negativity and what the algorithm wants you to think, because at the end of the day, regardless if it's negative or positive, 9 times out of 10 it's negative on social media. They're going to steal your data. They're going to make money off your data. So they want you to scroll. And if negativity is what feeds you to want to scroll more and give you those dopamine hits, like we were talking about, your body's going to let you know, like, if we get lost in those dopamine hits, then we're doomed, bro. For real. We're doomed, because once it gets attached to something, then that's literally, I think I would look at that as the chemical related to attachment. And attachment isn't healthy to anything at all. Like, if I were to lose something at this point in life, it's like, if I lost it, I got room for something better now. Back then I would be like, no, I need it. Yeah, I would just crumble. And like, a lot of people have that today. So like, because you were talking about you were in a relationship at the time, like, how were you able to get away from attachment? Because that's something big that I'm into, because I went into Buddhism, and Buddhism is all about detachment. Like, attachment is what keeps you in suffering. Attachment equals suffering. So like, give me a rundown, best way you can, how you escaped attachment to free yourself to the point where it's like, I don't need to attach myself to anything.
So that's that same way I could tell you I went down that path of negativity. So like, from that hurt that I received, I specifically went out to seek different friends that I knew basically played bitches. Like, they pretty much was like players, pimping. You know what I'm saying? Like, having a bunch of girls. Went around him, learned his tactics, and used them to my advantage to basically emotionally manipulate women. And
I've been down that road too.
Once I started to get a hang for how it worked, that's when I grew the ability to be able to detach. Because at first, how you said, once it was something that I attached to, that was supposed to be mine forever.
It's so like a drug in a way too.
So when it anything, I'm talking about, like, say if I had a house that I was living in, or like anything that I could become attached to, and it was ripped away, a car, something that I, used on a daily basis, things would just destroy me when it was, say if that car broke down, I'd be drained for weeks. But kind of going off into those negative ways kind of taught me the detachment, because it kind of made me heartless. So I basically, the way that I did it was emulating people that were heartless. But it took for me to do that to understand why I was doing that, and to be able to center myself back in the middle, to where it's like, I can have a healthy attachment to things. Do you get what I'm saying? So when I say healthy attachment, I'm talking about like a friendship. So it's not an attachment to the point where it can't be let go, because I can always revert back to that, being able to let shit go at any moment. I don't care how close we are. It don't matter.
But you find value in the friendship. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna stay here.
I'm gonna, if the, you have to also be able to decipher if it's actually valuable, or if it's just, just filling voids with people. Of course. But once I realized, okay, this is genuine. This is a genuine friendship, like how our friendship is. Like, it's a genuine friendship. Then, you feel what I'm saying? Then I'm like, that's my people's. Then, you know what I'm saying? I'm cool with that. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, that was the way that I found it, like, going through that way.
I think when you brought that up too, I've had issues with women, for sure. And it's mostly stemmed from me, and I've only been getting the reflection back. I won't say I have that problem now. Like, I've just been really finding myself. But back then it was like, I just felt it was cool to do something like that. I felt it was cool to do something. And also I had like some built up anger, because my mom left at a very young age. And having that in my subconscious and my psyche, it was just like, man, I don't need a woman. Like, not that type of energy, but it's like, I tried to think that, but at the same time, I will always go back into a relationship. Bro, I was in a relationship every year, starting from 2014 all the way to 20. I guess you would say. Dang, now, honestly.
Are you in one now?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not. I finally got to a point now where it's like I don't need to rush into a relationship, and honestly, I don't have the time right now because one, I work, and two, like all the spare time that I have is building my body up, working out. I'm either in the gym or I'm either doing a podcast. I'm either at Story Stitchers. I'm doing something towards Mindless Mind. I'm doing something towards the future that I'm building because I understand the time that I sacrifice now. And this goes back to what we were talking about, negativity and instant gratification. The time that I'm pushing away from relationships and always going out and stuff like that is towards what I'm building for not only myself, but for the community around me. So like, there's a lot more meaning and value towards me taking all my time to build rather than going out and like covering myself up in the mask in a way. And girls was like that main drug for me, man. And
same,
like, it was just like, I loved that energy having it around because I didn't have it around when I was a kid at a certain age.
It's almost like you kind of filling a void.
Yeah. And this was 2007. So I'm not even 10. I'm not even 10 at this point. And after 10, now you're starting to get into middle school. You're starting to get into high school, which is like when you need that mother figure to tell you like, hey, like, this is how you treat women. Let me be the example of what a woman should be. And I didn't have that example, at least biologically. My stepmom stepped in the picture. I love her. I love her to death. She has shown me a better path of how to treat a woman and how to be around a woman. So I appreciate my stepmom. Shout out to her. But obviously, you know, it's not the same. It's still like, you know, your biological mother, and my biological mother is black and my mom and my dad is white. So it's like, knowing me being the darkest kid in the family, it was just like, I always look in the mirror. It's like that piece is missing in a way. And that is something that has always haunted me until rather recently.
Did that make you feel like out of place growing up?
Out of place? Not in the house. Not in the family, because all of my dad's best friends were black. So like, I was surrounded by that community still. But at school, even because I had autism too.
Okay.
So it was like, I was kind of the weird kid, which I don't care. Like, but at a certain point when you get wanting to have friends, it's like, maybe I should tone down the weirdness. And around that time, tone down the weirdness and try to be like other people. And that's that people pleasing I was talking about. So I want you to go deeper into that too, is because like now we found something that we can relate to even more, is the issues of clinging to something, in this case being women, and using that as a drug rather than not even using, like participating in love, participating in compassion in like an actual relationship. And like, how has this brand and you spending the time on you help you formulate a better perspective of what a relationship is, even if you're not even in a relationship? Like, you can form a better perspective of what you want in a relationship, and like the relationship of how we should treat women altogether, even if we're not in a married situation, like even if it's just friends or somebody off the street, because I feel like men don't treat women the way that they need to be, especially now because they're being overly sexualized. But it's kind of like sometimes they over sexualize themselves in the same token. That's true. In the same token. For sure. And that goes back to the social media and just the influence and everything, thinking that's cool. But at the end of the day, I mean, in my opinion, I don't think it's the best thing, because that adds to mental health. Yeah. So, and it's destructive on both parts as far as that subject, because now And people don't want to have this conversation too.
Yeah. And so now my thing is, you got on social media, you thought it was cute just to, you know, shake your ass, show your pussy and shit like that. Just do extra shit for attention on social media. But I mean, I know it's cool now because you young, you cute, and you just wilding. But the thing is, if you looking for a man, like in the back of your head, if you want a man that's looking for monogamy and he want to be serious with somebody, how is he going to show that to his mama?
Yeah.
My thing be, and this is what I started thinking when it came to my relationships with women. What would you teach my daughter? If me and you were to have a daughter and I died, what values would you instill in that child? Scrolling up and down your social media, looking at how you act, looking at everything about you. What would you instruct? You think I want my daughter on Instagram doing that and thinking that's okay? Fuck no. How could I show that to my mama?
That brings up the sexy red conversation too.
Oh yeah.
Which,
and she from here too. She from here too.
Yeah. I don't know if she claims St. Louis like that.
She 100% does.
Does she?
Yes.
I don't listen to her. I don't listen to her, so I wouldn't know.
I fucks with her. I listen to her.
Okay.
So yeah, she definitely, every song I would say. I think she in the city now. She just went to like a school or something the other day.
Word.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's doing something for opening day. Shout out to the Cardinals, opening day today.
She probably is. Ain't no telling. Cause
Smino did opening day for City.
Opening day is today?
For Cardinals, yeah.
Today?
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Yeah,
that's probably going on right now, ain't it? Probably.
I think we play at any second now, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, honestly.
That's crazy. So they do the cons like maybe a performance beforehand, before they start playing?
Yeah, they would. I don't think Sexy Red is doing anything. She might be at the game or something. I don't know.
Something like that,
But
yeah.
I know Smino performed before the City soccer game, their home opener.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
And I heard that was amazing.
Lit. I heard it was hella people out there too.
I'm glad Smino's getting the recognition that he had.
For sure.
That
Yeah. He needs it. And because, you know, Drake started kind of biting his style. You feel what I'm saying?
That's what Drake does.
Yeah. So,
and this man came for his neck. So that's a whole different conversation.
Right. He ain't had much to say back yet. Since
Drake don't want that smoke, man.
He don't.
And this is coming from a fellow light skinned myself. You don't want that, bro.
Yeah, I don't think he want that. But that Sexy Red conversation though, before we go back to what you was talking about previous to that.
Yeah.
See, Sexy Red, okay, I fucks with her. The authenticity. I love it.
Yes, I love that. And that's, in a way, it's empowering women. Mm-hmm. In a way. You know,
I just, we all understand that, like, the image that is promoting to young women. And my thing is, I feel like everybody deserves the right to portray themselves however they want to. I mean, that's your life and that's what you're doing. Mm-hmm. But the part that confuses me is like the hypocrisy behind portraying yourself in that way, but then not wanting to also receive the negative image that comes with that. Because if I get out here and start robbing people and doing all this stuff, I can't be mad when people look at me like a criminal. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's like, at the end of the day, it's all about attention. You know that when you get online and you portray yourself in this particular way, you gonna get attention from it. People are gonna like it. Them likes gonna run up, them comments gonna run up, and you addicted to the dopamine that you getting from that negative image. But what you don't want is for those same people or a potential partner that could be interested in you to view you in a negative light. You can't have both. That's just not how it works. So I just don't understand that part. Do whatever you want to. I'm not one of them dudes that's like, yeah, y'all some hoes. Like, I ain't one of them dudes. Like, I don't care. Do what you want to. And it's certain females, like, I like that to a certain extent, but I wouldn't wife you. I just wouldn't, because it all boiled back down to, what would you teach my daughter? Yeah. I don't care if you went to school got a bachelor's, master's. If you portray yourself in certain ways, you have to be able to accept what comes with that. Just like if I was a criminal, it's certain types of women that might be attracted to me for that reason. But a woman that really got her head on straight and she not just looking for no hood dude to mess with, that's looking for somebody that's really trying to build and grow and create an empire for herself, she don't want to be bothered with that. But how could I be mad at her when this is the image I chose to portray myself as.
Yeah.
That's my whole debacle when it comes to that little thing right there with the sexy red stuff.
Thank you
Do
for
what
sharing.
you please.
Yeah.
Do what you please, but just be able to accept what comes with that.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat. If anything, I've noticed a pattern. We always go back to social media and that validation and having a certain image. And you can call me a conspiracy theorist, but I do believe that there are certain people in charge that want that. Like we've heard the stuff that's going on with Kanye West and other rappers, and like bringing it out, saying like the record companies, the record labels, and all these people that are on top of the music food chain in a way want to continue to push that type of image, want to continue to push violence and murder and stuff like that, especially in hip hop, which is a black genre for the most part, at least in the start. And just, that's going to reach black ears. And now hip hop has reached a level where it's global. It's going to reach everybody's ears. And if you're making money off that type of negativity, whether if it be a sexy red or whether it be, the rappers that just be always having guns out and just the money out in front of the camera, which it looks cool to a certain degree. And that's just, you're just showing where you're from in a way. It's just like, how does that help bring more positivity in our community? How does that bring more positivity towards mental health? How does that solve anything? If anything, that digs a hole even further, even deeper in negativity in a way. And I think, and to get spiritual here in a second, one of the biggest issues that I've had in terms of treating women way better is realizing and actually sticking up for the divine feminine energy that lives within myself. Because we're not just, even though we're males, we're not just fully masculine. We have feminine properties. The reason why WAGDOD is alive today is because the feminine side, the creator side, the patience that lives within you took charge and said, you know what, I'm going to bring something into this world. All the energies that bring something into this world is feminine energies. So if I'm disrespecting feminine energies around me, I'm also disrespecting the feminine energy within myself. That's why I haven't been able to be a creator until as of recently, because it's synonymous with like the problems that I've been through in relationships and getting that solved. The same time I solved my creativity and how to bring the creativity out into the world. I don't think there's any coincidence towards that. How you feel about that?
Man,
because we have good spiritual conversations like each time we talked about it. And I was going to bring it up to you, like, how has spirituality helped you in terms of your mental health and where you are now? But one question at a time.
Fine tune that last question for me again. Just fine tune it for me.
I was going to ask, did spirituality, not even how, did spirituality help you through, getting through depression, and also even today in terms of your regular mental health, and also connecting with your emotional body as well?
So I've always fucked with the thought of what spirituality is, but I've never really done my due diligence to dig in and really do that research to figure out what a lot of that stuff means. I don't know. Like, I just hadn't gotten that deep into that part of, you know what I'm saying, our reality. But I definitely do believe in, you know what I'm saying, just a lot of the stuff that people tell me, especially people that speak on metaphysics and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just something that I've been interested in, but right now I just been more focused on what's going on up here and more of the physical realm of being able to control my body. You get what I'm saying?
Which is very important.
Very important. I feel like I like taking shit one step at a time. Because before I get, like, you know what I'm saying, into that part of myself, I want to be able to control Like my addictions to waking up and getting on the phone every fucking morning and wasting 30 minutes to an hour before I go to the gym. Now I go to the gym late. Then I go to the gym late. I got to work out longer. Then I start doing DoorDash late. Then I get less money. Then it's just like a downward spiral. So I'm kind of like right now, I'm a little bit more focused on breaking those particular cycles. And as far as the things that I can control in my physical life that I see right now. But that's definitely in the future. I'm definitely going to be sitting down shit with you. You know what I'm saying? To get that motherfucking knowledge on, you know?
That's what I do, bro. I'm not going to sit here and say I know it all because I don't, because it's an infinite spiral when it comes to mysticism. I like to say mysticism compared to spirituality, because spirituality, that's been a term that has been thrown out as of late, like in so many different directions. Mysticism is like the devotion towards like knowing the truth of not only who you are, but of all things. Like spirituality at the end of the day is supposed to be something that can help you find more joy into your life. But there's a step further. It's like, oh, okay, I'm joyful in my life. Like nothing, no matter what situation happens, like I can always find and revert to that joy from within. Now I want to take a different step. I want to take a step further into truth. And how far does truth go? What all does truth illuminate? Which it's a lot, bro. That's a rabbit hole. That's a deep spiral. So I will say, before you get into that, just know you're gonna get yourself into like a lot of knowledge, a lot of truth. And just be open, bro. I say that to anybody. Like anybody that's wanting to go down the mystical path is, and mystical, I think in the Western world has been looked at as a mysticism. But in Eastern philosophy, it's like, bro, that's every day.
That's part of life.
Yes.
That's like part of their, like how we live our lives doing the stuff we do every day. Yes. Like that's part of their culture. Like
because it's a devotion. It's a discipline in itself. And I want to get into that too. Like what disciplines do you have with yourself right now to keep you in line?
Get up every day, make some money.
There you go.
I gotta get up every day. If I don't, I feel it like that. Okay, let's just put it like this. Okay, when I went through the episode, it opened up a black hole. When I lay around and don't do shit, don't complete no goals, I can see the black hole. Like, yes. You're coming back down here, buddy. You know what I'm saying? Like no, get up. And then that's when I don't give a fuck if I make $3 that day. I get up and go do something, or even if it ain't that, complete a goal that I know I've been bullshitting on, procrastinating on. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Like right now, I need to be putting in samples for this new merch they're trying to say. I don't know why I be procrastinating on it. Now I done looked into that, into the psychology. That's something I'm big on right now.
Procrastination?
Yep, and the psychology behind it.
Yeah, let's go deep into that.
So like, pause.
Yes, exactly.
So like the psychology that was a good one. That was a good pause.
Pausable moment. Pausable moment. Yes.
Pausable. Look, that should be a button. Pausable moment.
Ooh, thank you. I can program those buttons.
Yes.
So I got an idea. The one that ain't lining up, that's gonna be it.
Pausable moment.
I'm gonna let you say that.
Bet. Pausable moment. What I'm about to say, procrastination.
Yes.
Psychologically, a lot of the reasons why we do that is because we fear the possibility of not succeeding in that task. So what I had to sit down and realize that I was doing was, I know this next collection I come out is going to be my best collection ever. I know it is.
Speak on.
But the thought in the back of my head of it not succeeding to the level I feel it should, I've been allowing it to keep me from completing tasks to make that thing possible, in fear of it not. But the thing is, every time I drop something, it does good. It does great. So I don't know what the fuck I was doing. You get what I'm saying? I don't know why I'm doing it.
That
I know
brown
why.
hoodie that you have saying that it's all in your head.
Yeah.
That much crazy. I'm gonna have to get that.
And ain't it crazy how I can be a person that's telling you, and I still have to shake it out of myself. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are you doing? You have a hoodie that says relax is all in your head. You gotta, what are you doing?
We're
And then-
imperfect beings, but that's how God made us. Because if we were perfect, there will be no growth. There will be no path to walk because we're perfect. But if we're imperfect, then there's a path to walk. There's a fine line to walk. There's growth. And that's what makes the human experience fun. You can't take it too seriously, bro. You can't. And when we start to take it way too seriously, there's a quote that I love. I think Alan Watts said it. He said, man takes seriously what the gods made for fun. Yeah.
So elaborate on that one.
When I stop taking things too seriously, like, yeah, there's going to be moments in life where you got to lock in, of course. Like, mine is mine. I got to lock in. I can't dilly-dally around, or it's not going to materialize in the way that I want it to. But if you take a thought, like a new idea, like you said, the new collection that you're bringing out here soon, if you take that too seriously and be like, well, what if, relax. Because all those what ifs, if you have too many what ifs, then you're not going to build that new project. You're not going to build that new catalog, that new collection. And that collection is not going to see the light of day because you let those what ifs win. You let yourself get a little too serious when we're kids playing in the sandbox. Shout out to Maliki. He says that all the time. But we're just kids playing in the sandbox. If we take it a little too serious, that's when the kids start arguing and start crying in the sandbox and the fun is ruined. We got to continue to, and that's one of the biggest things in adulthood that we need to find is that how can we keep that child, that inner child running and, you know, doing its thing daily with a spice of maturity? You know, how can we balance the wise old man with the inner child? Somebody that's always playful, somebody that wants to create, somebody that wants to explore, but also having precaution and wisdom behind it as well. And sometimes finding that balance can be a little tough because if we take everything too serious, then it's like we can't be playful. But if we're too playful, then we're never taking things serious when we need to. So life is all about balance. Life is all about balance. And procrastination too, I definitely second what you brought up in terms of fear. Sometimes we think the idea is bigger than us, but ideas find you because you are the right vessel to bring it about. Mine found me because God said you are the correct vessel to bring it about.
I ain't gonna stunt you. Just
this is what I'm here for. I'm gonna be honest.
you hold on. That one right there, like, I ain't gonna even lie. That just, you are the vessel. That's crazy. Cause damn.
It's okay. Take your time.
That's crazy. So, like, you saying from the universe, like saying like you are the perfect vessel to release that idea?
Yeah.
Or like,
because if you don't act on that idea at a certain point, it's be like, all right, bet I'll give it to somebody else.
ooh,
So that's why I'm like, I don't feel any I don't feel bad if I'm unorganized in a way, because there will be times where I'm about to go to sleep and as I'm falling asleep, I get an idea. I'm like, well, time to get back up and write that down. At the very least, just write it on a Post-it note. I would say keep a notebook or a Post-it note by your nightstand or by your bed, because if you have any ideas, and also I'm a dream interpreter. Here lately, I've been smoking weed before I go to sleep, so that has been blocking my dreams. But
you said it has or it hasn't?
It has been blocking my dreams.
That shit made my shit vivid.
Yeah,
like,
it works for different people, but for me, like, it just covers that up. But
so you just dead sleep, like you just go like okay.
And it's like I have way better sleep when I dream. Like when I dream, my sleep is phenomenal. Like the first 2 days of the week, Monday and Tuesday, I slept like crap, terrible shit, terrible. And then last night I slept like an angel because I dreamt a little bit because I didn't smoke right before I went to sleep. With me dreaming, I see a correlation. So it's like, also notice the patterns in life. Like, take that serious. That's something that you should take serious. And when you start to notice the patterns in life, then you're like, okay, now I can manipulate these patterns and not manipulate, but move through these patterns accordingly now, because the mental states have patterns. Like the subconscious itself is a pattern. Literally. Yes, literally. It's only going to continue to spit out what it knows. Like that thing that you went through at a young age is going to continue to throw that at you and reflect it right back at you through the external reality, because it's like, hey, it's time to work on this. Like, sure. I told myself that I wanted to get into real estate because I have an idea towards real estate, architecture, and construction. And ever since I started this new job, 5 or 6 people that I've met in just a month are in real estate. And I haven't taken any steps towards real estate at all. And that was just a reminder from the universe or the divine, or whatever you want to say, like, hey, get on that, because this resonates with you. This is in alignment with your path. I didn't give you this idea for no reason. This idea did not fall in your lap. And it comes back to that quote where people don't have ideas. Ideas have people. Ideas choose you, like I said earlier, because you resonate the most with that idea. Your frequency is on the same type of level. So as you grow, your ideas start to grow as well. The profundity of the idea is just, it continues to expand.
Magnitude of it increases, I'm assuming.
Yeah. But it all depends on how you magnify yourself. If you extend yourself, pause.
Pausable moment.
Hey, if you magnify yourself in your life, your ideas would do the same. Your emotions would do the same. Your thoughts would do the same. But also the biggest important thing is that silence will become louder as well. Silence is the loudest thing in the room. If you're able to speak the language of the universe, which is silent, bro, like, you learned the language of the universe. Like that's what it is. So I will continue to go down that road for sure.
So I ain't gonna stunt you. Like, when you said that, like, that's crazy right there. Like the universe giving you those ideas. You get what I'm saying? Because it knows that I'm the perfect person to do that. And sometimes, like, when I really just sit down and think about even my background or who I am as a person, I think, like, it makes people, because I'm the type of person I could just go anywhere. Like, I done been some of the most treacherous hoods you could think of, doing photo shoots with niggas. I done had dudes coming to my photo shoots, certified gang members. And I can talk to them, but at the same time, I can get on Fortnite and speak my same language to a streamer who ain't probably never seen a gun in his life.
Yeah. You
know what I'm saying? And I feel like I'm just in this perfect middle ground of a person to where a brand like mine would be able to form through me, because I'm able to, you know what I'm saying? I'm able to assimilate within any type of culture or way of living. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of like,
you're the middleman.
Exactly. It's like I'm just thinking about all what you just said, and it just opened up a bunch of different little shits.
It's good to do that, though. It's good to be the middleman, because you're not picking sides. We're not here to pick sides, because if we get lost in duality, and you said something earlier, and it reminded me of the Tao. It reminded me of yin and yang. Like, you can't pick a side. You can't pick black or white, because no matter how far you go on the white, there's going to be a speck of black, and vice versa. So you being the middleman, walking the middle path, as we say in Buddhism, you are now taking the best of both worlds on each side, rather than picking the best of both worlds along with the negatives of this side and completely pushing off the other side. Like doesn't that stream division? And division isn't good for mental health at all.
At all.
Like, you want unity in mental health, not division, because if you break yourself down in a way that doesn't need to be broken down, like identify yourself with certain ideas, or identify yourself with this body, identify yourself with certain ways of life, or identify yourself with the past and your upbringing. Like now you're putting a roof on your head. Now you're creating a ceiling, and you won't be able to create beyond that ceiling until you detach from those identifications. So if I identify myself as a black man, like, can I identify myself wholly as a human being though? Because a human being is more than the content of the color of your skin. It deals with the character. It deals with the way that you speak, the way that you can compassion, love. There's so many things that go into a human being. There's so much that goes into a black culture, but human culture is all the cultures combined into one. And that's something that I love to do. I like to walk the fine line of being the middleman and enjoying all parts of culture rather than sticking on this side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Being able to, I always been like that too. I listen to anybody, you Jehovah's Witness, you Muslim, whatever you are, because everybody got some level of intelligence or something important to say.
Truth is everywhere. That's why I was saying with mysticism, truth is everywhere.
Literally. It
doesn't just reside on just one side, because if truth were to say, oh, I'm on this side, is it really truth?
Right.
Whenever there's an argument, he has his one side, she has hers one side, and then the third side is the truth. Oh,
exactly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man, I appreciate this conversation, though.
Most definitely.
Appreciate this conversation for
sure.
I do have a very important question. How are you feeling mentally and emotionally today as we speak?
Today,
that's an important question that we should ask everybody.
Sure. You got to answer it too afterwards.
Hell yeah.
Yep. I feel energized today. Something that I just recently did on a personal level financially, I basically tripled my car note. So like my car note was only like $200 a month. I just tripled it to $600 on purpose. So now I do like payments of $150 a week versus I was only doing $50 a week. Because one thing I realized about myself, that pressure, like that, how we were talking about pressure make the diamonds.
So you want the smoke.
I love that. I don't know what it is, that like that feeling of like that hustle. Like if you don't get up and go get to this, come on down there, buddy.
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying? And it's like that constant. I like having like something, a responsibility, a healthy responsibility, not no silly shit.
But like just doing shit to do shit.
A healthy responsibility, like that bill. I know every week $150 is coming out of that, and $50 is going into my savings account. So my savings account, that's like me paying myself. So that money don't even get touched. That's just a whole nother situation. So all I got to play with is this little money. So if I don't do what I need to do, you feel what I'm saying? If I don't do what I need to do, it's gonna get tough out here. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? So that what I've been focused on recently is not playing on that fucking phone, man. I get up in the morning playing on that fucking phone.
And that goes back to the pattern of social media and stuff, because you know if you get on that phone, you're not liable to get on that pattern.
But you're gonna fuck around and get the scroll and get lost in that scroll. So man, today I'm feeling energized. I'm feeling happy to be here, talking about this type of topic, because it just opened, like even what you said about that vessel shit, like that just like opened a whole nother breast. And I feel like that every time I get around you, every time we have a conversation, I feel like you spark a thought in my mind that open up a bunch of other little thoughts that I can dig into and shit like that.
It's just a perspective, two perspectives meeting.
For real. So I appreciate that. For real.
Of course, bro. That's what I'm here for, man. I'm glad I was able to do that for you, man.
For real. So like, oh God, that's like right now, just mentally, I'm just in that mode. I'm in that mode. I already went to the gym earlier. You feel what I'm saying? I'm in that mode. As far as what?
What you hit in the gym?
Like what I'll do today, I did all upper body.
Okay. So, I did legs today.
I do legs earlier in the week to get it out the way. And plus I got a knee injury too. So like I gotta be
pray for him.
Yeah, I gotta be careful. I gotta have good form, and I can't be in there playing when it comes to my knee, because like them leg presses and them squats, if I put too much weight on there, my knee will start swelling up and doing weird shit. So basically what I'm in the process of doing is just finding how to strengthen all the muscles around my knee and doing knee strength exercises to keep my shit up there. But,
hey, talk to my boy Malachi.
He gotta know that, because with that basketball shit, that's like one of the most important damn parts of your body to play basketball with.
Bro,
shit.
for 2020 and 2021 especially, we did a lot of mobility work. We did a lot of yoga, a lot of balance work. And one of my problems was my right knee. My right knee wasn't as strong as the left. So we just really built that up. And now it's like night and day. It's not where it needs to be still, but it's been through the fire, and it's definitely way better than it needs to be. So I'll definitely get you in touch. Shout out to the boy Malachi, Grounded Hoops, being able to diversify workouts, not just basketball. So yeah,
facts. So yeah, I definitely need to get into. We gonna have to swap information. Then I'm gonna get him hip on the clothing aspect of the shit, and then he can get me hip on that, because I need that. Because like if I'm gonna be boxing, like a lot of people don't realize how important your legs are when it comes to boxing.
Yes, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Because if you can't get your feet where they need to be, a lot of people don't realize boxing start at the feet. Even your punches start at your feet. The power is all developed from your lower body, and you whip your upper body into it to create that force.
Just like baseball. Baseball is the same way in the swing.
Yeah,
your hands are just the guide.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna get all
I even
baseball
notice
coach.
on me like that, how they wind up and then they step that foot down, and like just how they whip their body like that. Like, you have to be strong. Your lower body has to be strong in order to really get that swing out that you want.
Exactly. Let's talk about boxing, man. I've completely slipped my mind that you're in boxing, that you're a boxer. How has that helped your journey in a way?
That is my number. Remember what I was talking about, finding shit that you love to do and ways you can get paid from it? And I ain't found out how to get paid from it, but that's just it for me. That's boxing is ever since I discovered it. I discovered boxing by playing Fight Night Round 3, the video game. Yeah. It's on PlayStation 2. This was probably about 2008-ish, 2009.
PlayStation 2 is the best console of all time.
Man, for sure. For sure.
Thank you.
So look, yes, that's my favorite console. You know what I'm saying? Because it is, we came up with that motherfucker. Like, we grew up with it.
Facts.
So, that Fight Night Round 3, Round 4, whichever one it was, played that. I've been a fan ever since. Thing was, when I was younger, I just wasn't consistent enough within myself to be able to keep going to the gym and doing what I needed to do. That's that part where I wish I had a parent to help, but that just ain't how it panned out. Now, though, I got that drive from myself, and I go to that gym as many days a week as I can make sure I get in there. Yeah. And that's just it for me. That's the thing. Like, for me personally, that's just it. Like, that whole, it's like, especially once you get to a point where you get past the getting tired so fast, because it's real stressful on your body. But once you get to that point where you can really relax in there and pay attention to what's going on, pay attention to movements, telegraph, people that do little shit. Some people blink their eyes. Some people tilt their head a little bit before they throw a punch. When you start being able to pay attention to all those little tells that people do before they move, it's just amazing how you can, no matter how much you want to hit me, you want to hurt me, I can anticipate what you doing, deflect it, and hit you back in the same motion that it took you to hit me. Like, split, just bop, 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 bop. In that same motion, just that whole mentality that come behind that is just like invigorating as fuck to me. I just love it. I love it.
Bro, the attention to detail that I've been learning, especially now being outside of sports, because I don't play anything anymore. Yeah, I don't play games no more. But no, like, seeing that, like seeing the attention of detail that lies within every sport really gave me the opportunity and the observation to see, like, there's a reason why we have pro athletes, because the attention to detail, and like they're light years ahead of somebody that just goes out there and just plays for fun. Light years, bro. Like, and I can't imagine boxing. Like, put a boxer in a fight with somebody that doesn't know, that maybe knows like how to throw a punch and has some strength to it. Like, bro, you can break somebody down that's way bigger than you.
Exactly. Like, I've done it before.
Yeah.
I've done it before. It's sad that some people are easy to fight. It's honestly sad because it's like, but it's those small details you're talking about. Like it's just little shit that people do that you would be surprised that you probably do, but you wouldn't even realize it until we started boxing. Then I showed you like, okay, so every time you do that, I know you finna punch me. Watch this. And then I'm gonna show it to you. And then over time, you're gonna learn to stop doing that thing that makes you vulnerable. You feel what I'm saying? And you just learn it over time. But yeah, like you said, like those little details it's crazy. And like pros, like even me being an okay boxer, I feel like I would do good in competition. But towards somebody that's been doing this shit since they was 10 and they my same age, they would be able to point out shit that I wouldn't even be able to possibly
like
perceive.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you wouldn't even be able to. It's I don't know, man. That shit is just crazy.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. It's crazy to see the gap between people that like, and that takes you back to what we were talking about, like the dedication and just like every day not getting sucked into that black hole of just stagnicity and not doing anything. It's like making sure I get up and earning that whatever it may be. Like going out every day and earning that happiness, earning that joy. And like, bro, like it keeps us going. It's that discipline in a way.
It's like positive gratification.
Yes.
It's like
and I think my generation, especially generations after me, are having a lot of trouble in terms of finding discipline and having discipline in general. So with you being in boxing, you setting goals for yourself, not to go down that black hole, not to get stagnant, not to procrastinate anymore. What would you tell to somebody that is procrastinating and is struggling with discipline?
Damn, the longer you wait, the longer the bigger the gap is between you and success. And that would be me talking to my goddamn self. Where's the mirror at in this motherfucker? Hey, the longer you sit up here and keep fucking playing, that's going to be the longer it's going to be till you receive the level of success that you know you're destined for. You stupid son of a... You feel me? Like, stop playing. You be playing, bro. Stop playing. I be playing. I don't know why, but I know why. But now that I broke it down to you earlier, I know why. But like I say, like one thing about it though, I'm gonna get it done. I just need to work on getting it done faster or more time appropriately. You know what I'm saying?
Also, I didn't answer the question how I'm feeling mentally and emotionally.
Yeah, because exactly. Okay, yo,
we go on my tangents. I love it though. I love it.
Hell yeah.
I'm feeling great, bro, and I'm kind of like I'm actually that conversation in terms of discipline has brought me back to my answer. It's just finding new ways to bring about discipline in my life and stay disciplined towards whether it be minus mind, whether it be when I'm building terms and like real estate, my creativity, and just being devoted to that and not letting anything in the outside world throw me off that boat. Pretty much, you know, setting sail for a goal, continuing to work each day towards that goal and not let anything distract me from that. You know, I'm not going to be perfect, of course, but in the long run and continuing that consistency, that's basically what I'm on right now. Because even though I'm part of a new job and I like it, it's fun, that's not what I want to do in the long term. And I know like that set in because there is some drama there sometimes, like every workplace, but just seeing that drama early on, I'm very grateful because it's like, yeah, don't get too comfortable, bro. Don't get too comfortable because you know this is not what you want to do. And if you get too comfortable, then you're pushing away the things that you actually want to do for comfortability and conveniency. And
you're going to fuck around, get caught in that hamster wheel.
Right. And then get caught in the hamster wheel to the point where it's like you're burnt out, and when you're burnt out, you start to get stagnant and procrastinate, and then that's the black hole. Like, hey,
hey, buddy,
hey, sir,
hey, come on down here, buddy.
Yeah, and you don't want to do that, bro. That's something like, no. If anything, my mindset and how I'm feeling emotionally is productivity. How can I be productive every single day? Whether if it's towards my body, whether it's towards meditating, writing, film because I'm working on film, music, minus mine, doing a podcast. Like I'm doing a podcast today. I'm very, very grateful. Like I woke up, ate healthy, cooked a new food. I cooked like, bro, this fried egg with peppers sandwich. Fire.
Shit sound good.
Yeah, man, it was pretty good. It wasn't anything gourmet style, but I mean, it got the job done. And I was feeling really good after that. And then meditated, listened to some binaural beats, worked out today, got my haircut finally. And then now we here. And then later on after this, I'm gonna edit this video and, you know, just do God's work. You feel me?
Most definitely.
So, but yeah, bro, I'm feeling great. I'm just locked in. I'm not really letting anything take me off that street. For
same.
real.
That's what I'm on the same shit, man. It's like for sure.
And that brings me to another question. Where do you see WAGDOD? WAGDOD. Sorry.
You good.
Where you see WAGDOD in the next 5 years? And can it be something beyond clothing?
For sure. And it really already is. But what I've been looking towards is finding other people that work in the world of mental health. Because you get what I'm saying? Because what I want to start doing is one big thing I'm finna start doing is giving back to the homeless. That's another thing I want to do.
It's a must, bro.
Just giving meals. I wanted to start doing that every Sunday because I was doing it in Atlanta.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
I was working with 2 different groups of people. Did I tell you about that already?
Yeah, because I think that was when literally the first day that I met you, we were talking about that with Xander.
Yeah, and we was talking about like how we would be able to orchestrate that. Basically.
Shout out to Xander. Yeah. Shout out to Xander. Big shout out.
Oh God, I seen him again. I went up to Word Up on the anniversary, and he was there. So I ran into him again.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to start giving back to the homeless. First of all, I think that's gonna be one of my first things, like getting me into that actual world of helping back. You know, giving back, and you know, I'm still conflicted. You know, because I think working with the kids, I think that might be a good path because that's where all that stuff started for me. So it's like, I feel like everything I'm doing now is to help or to accomplish the goals of that 18, 19-year-old me. Oh, even the things that I'm doing to this day is for the 18 and 19-year-old me.
Because you can't go back in time, but you can do it for the people that are 18 and 19 today.
Exactly. You know, so that's what I want to do. I just want to give people like just a light at the end of the tunnel. You ain't got to go down it now. You don't never got to go down it, but just, you know, it's there. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And by that light at the end of the tunnel, that's just like the ability. Sometimes people just need to know that there's somebody there like them. And just the thought of knowing that a person like that exists could be the difference between them wanting to end it all and just pushing forward those next 3 days, pushing forward those next 7 days, and then something click. You feel what I'm saying? But for a lot of people, they don't see nothing. It's just, they just see this everyday bullshit, and they don't see nothing that could be potentially positive for them. So that's why I'm just real big on, you know, just being that, just that whole energy field of, there is a way out to become a better version of you. Yeah, bro. Community building. That's what I'm getting from this. And also the biggest thing in terms of, hey man, I appreciate that. I got one on my laptop right now. Yeah. I'm gonna start putting this around the city too. For sure. I got some more. I'm gonna give you some more out the car. Right on, bro. Yep. Right on. Community building is huge. Like we talked about, St. Louis has the opportunity. Like, bro, it's a big city in a way, but it's like I can see somebody every day that I know, and it's like, bro, what's going on? Like it's like a city version of a high school in a way. Like we still know each other. The only reason like I won't see you is like if you're out of town or you moved away. Yeah. So it's like we're still interconnected. Like the interconnectedness of the city is crazy. Right. And it's like a small city with a big city feel to it. Yeah, bro. It's crazy. I love that about St. Louis. Like I moved away to Puerto Rico, and I love Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. Bro. Oh my God. The community though that they have down there, they like tight.
They make sure they feed the homeless. And I mean, the homeless isn't really starving for real because they have stuff that we don't have, which is food growing on trees. Like we don't have that here, sadly. And that's something that we need to bring back. But it's just like, bro, the amount of the community and how tight they are, how interconnected they are in Puerto Rico, because it's a little island. It doesn't even take 3 hours for you to get the one end to the other.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's just like everybody knows each other and they care for each other. Yeah, there's going to be some times where there's beef, but it's like we need to have that type of energy here in St. Louis because we have the opportunity to. And the more connected we are as a community, whether we plan on leaving or plan on staying, because I plan on leaving at some point in my life here soon.
For sure.
Like I don't see myself staying here, but
I got to tell you something about that too.
yeah, but before leaving, I have to do what I can to build a community here because I was born here and I was sent back from Puerto Rico out of, poor circumstances and stuff like that, but it is what it is. Everything happens for a reason. I came back with a completely new perspective to the point where it's like, I'm very grateful for St. Louis. Instead of trying to run away from St. Louis, I'll leave when it's time for me to leave. And I have to be patient. But while I'm here, let me build up the resources. Let me build up the community. Let me build up the next generation so they don't have to go through the things that I go through. So their trials and tribulations and their growth is completely different than what I've been through because they're excelling off of the foundation I was able to give them. They're not going through telling the same story. Now they have a different story. But yeah, tell me. Is that for after the mic or?
Well, remember what I was telling you about? It's in terms of movie. Remember I was telling you about Diary of a CEO. You should definitely go check him out. Shout out to Steven Bartlett, even though he big as hell.
Shout out to Steven.
Yeah. He had a guy on there that was an ex-CIA spy, and he said by the year 2030, the United States will not be a country that he would recommend us be living in. And he's taking his wife and his kid and he's going elsewhere.
I see that.
He's going over to he said one of the European countries. So he was thinking Spain, somewhere in that range, Germany, Italy, something like that. And because basically China is pushing to become the next superpower. And
it's already happening. We're giving that away.
It's already happening.
Spoiler alert. Again, I may be a conspiracy theorist, but we're giving all of that away to China.
We don't even, the people here don't realize what's going on yet, but we're already, in cahoots. It's already, World War III has already begun.
It's a battle of perception to start off with.
It's already begun.
Yeah.
And I remember he was talking about, he said when World War II first started, he said it didn't feel like it at first because just the way that they were doing things, because they do this shit called proxy wars. So proxy wars are basically we the big dogs to Ukraine, right? Russia banging with Ukraine. So instead of us doing it directly, we like, here Ukraine, couple billion,
Israel,
couple billion. You feel what I'm saying? Couple billion. Us with, I think it's Taiwan, couple billion, because Taiwan don't fuck with China. Want Taiwan.
The whole Cold War was like that because it was never directly U.S. versus Russia. It was the proxy states, the proxy countries, the people that believe in what we were saying and believe in what they were saying, and we let the small countries, because guess what? If the small countries fight, we're diminishing the small countries. We're bringing down third world countries now. And just by giving them the guns, letting them destroy themselves without even them having to question like, well, wait, are we really doing something right here?
Right.
We're bullies. That's what it is.
Literally. And I think it's almost time for us to pay. That's what I'm starting to think.
It's getting to a point now where I do believe that we're at the end of the days in terms of the modern era, the modern world.
Of America or?
In general. Because America is not even the problem, bro. America is a puppet. That's what I'm going to say. And I didn't expect us to go down this road in terms of conspiracy, but I'm all for it. It's a one world government that people want. That's essentially what they want. They want a one world government. They want to push this idea of totalitarian rule. and they don't want individuality anymore, because individuality brings independent thought, and independent thought is completely a different road, a different direction than authoritarianism, where authoritarianism gets rid of any religion, any idea of God or anything, because the state is God. The state is the highest. If you try to look past the state, that's a no-no, because we're at the top of the food chain. Pretty much.
They gonna execute your motherfucking ass.
Exactly, bro. And people tend to forget, like, that's how communist Russia was. That's how communist China was, and China today is. And at a certain point, you know, that's how it was with slaves in America. That's how it is in slavery in general, no matter where it is. It's like, don't believe in anything beyond what I tell you, your master. And we're going through modern slavery, which is up here.
It's mental now.
Yeah. We're not whipping you with actual whips. We're whipping you through social media. We're whipping you through ideas,
Whipping
through
you through that
perception.
scroll.
Yeah.
Motherfucker. We got you.
Yeah, as long as you keep scrolling, your perception is whatever I tell you to.
They got
your
you by the
perception
balls.
is whatever the algorithm wants you to be.
They got you by the balls. And then the algorithm is created to center itself towards what you want to see any goddamn way.
Yeah.
Because you keep clicking like and scrolling and fucking with these pages. Now they're going to keep showing you what you want to see. We got you by the balls.
And we're also getting paid off that data.
Yep.
Thank you.
And
That's
you wanna
why
know-
social media is free.
You want to know who else loves that?
Please tell me.
The black hole.
The black hole.
The black hole loves.
Exactly.
Yes. Like he fucking with that.
Feed me.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, bro.
Closer.
Every single conversation that we've had, every single talking point that we had connects pretty much. And I love it. I love it. Even if we have to go down the conspiracy route, I don't care. You know, for the people that don't want to hear that, you can skip that. But I'm all here for it because I'm a history guy. I love history. That was my favorite subject growing up in school. Like, aced it all the time. And learning that has gave me a foundation of like, hold on, this has happened before. And if we don't pay attention that this has happened before, and we don't say something, it's going to continue to happen again. And it's going to be worse. Like, I tell people all the time, I'm like, bro, we're living in a state worse than Nazi Germany. I would say that in terms of up here, especially because they rolled off propaganda.
Yeah.
They loved propaganda. Propaganda is everywhere now. This is the main weapon of World War III right here, because this changes your whole perception. Like, the average screen time here in America is like 3 or 4 hours. So 3 and 4 hours out of my day is looking at this.
And that's more than fucking crazy when you think about it. That is crazy.
Bro, crazy. And I know I've been talking a lot, and this is supposed to be a conversation, but
I'm listening to shit.
Yeah, bro. I had to go
both
off.
ways.
Yeah, bro. I had to go off. So it's a war on perception right now. And that's why this mental health talk and destigmatizing mental health and understanding how to crawl out of depression and find joy, and understanding mysticism, understanding spirituality, understanding our mental and emotional bodies is very, very important. Because all of that to say, as long as we follow the globalists or the algorithm, we start to connect more with what other people want us to think and be severed from the connection of ourselves. Because the best way I can demoralize you and take you out is take you away from your true self. If you don't know who you are, then you can be whoever I want you to be, because you don't have any self-sovereignty. That's why I said discipline is super important, because if we're not disciplined, then something else is going to come into our life and be like, I rule you. You are not my slave. That's how it be, bro. And like, there's so many levels to it, bro. There's so many levels to it. Like the food that we eat, the drugs that we take, the phone, all of that, bro. Like, if we don't think this is done by intention, then we're crazy.
Come on now. Because when they broke down the chemicals that's in just about everything we eat, and then almost all of the food is made by like 3 different companies.
One of them is based out here.
That Monsanto?
Monsanto.
Exactly. Like, dude, they own like the wheat and all that stuff. Wheat is in everything.
Bro, they own most of the food along with pesticides.
Exactly.
The same stuff that's like a monopoly on the food.
Yeah, that's like they just flat out killing us, and then they telling us they doing it.
Monopolies are not okay. And I'm not a big fan of the state of capitalism right now. But a monopoly is even worse because that paves the way to authoritarianism, where government and corporations are like, oh, okay, bet we're going to work together. There's only going to be, it's an illusion of freedom because, perfect example, Disney. Like you're watching ESPN. Guess who owns ESPN? Disney. Guess who owns Marvel? Disney. Star Wars? Disney. ABC? Disney. There's 6 media companies that own 92% of media in the world.
Crazy.
Only 6 companies. They own 92%. The 8%, no, 96 actually. It's 96. And that was back in 2020. Who knows how much they own now?
Right.
Like I remember I was a Marvel fan. I don't really watch their movies anymore because the quality of that has went down a lot. But now I realize how bad it can be in terms of like business because I saw that Disney bought 20th Century Fox. Me as a Marvel fan, I'm like, bet, because 20th Century Fox owns X-Men. And I'm like, now, okay, bet. Marvel's going to have X-Men movies and the whole cinematic universe and everything. Now looking back on it, I'm like, bro, they're making a monopoly. Let me think outside of just the entertainment, which they want me to focus on. It's just the entertainment and the conveniency of entertainment. Let me go beyond that and start to look like, oh, this is bigger than entertainment. This is brainwashing in a way. There's a movie I'm gonna recommend you. It's called Out of Shadows. Shout out to Maliki. He showed me it too. This was back in 2020. It's hard to find on YouTube.
It's called what?
Out of Shadows.
Out of Shadows. I'm gonna put that in my note.
Yes, sir. I can go on for days to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it. I'd rather show you.
Shadows?
Out of Shadows. It's hard to find on YouTube because it's been banned. It's been censored.
Oh, I know how to find a movie now.
Oh, yeah. You'll find it.
They got this movie out right now called Civil War.
Bro, my friend just told me about it. I've seen the ads. I'm like, bro, if this is not propaganda trying to turn people against each other.
They literally, and they put the shit right there in our face. Like,
you're just like, ooh, another movie to watch.
Right. Well, really, we're telling you what might possibly happen.
Honey, I know what we're watching tonight.
Civil War. That's right.
But yeah, man. I just had to go on my little spiel. And honestly, to bring it back to more positive things, I feel that WAGDOD is an ambassador for positive mental health. Would you agree with that?
100%.
So what does it mean to be an ambassador for positive mental health in the community? Like, how does that feel? Like, bro, it may not be on the scale that you wanted to, but it's a start. It's a foundation.
For sure.
So like, how do you feel about that? Like, I know that's got to bring joy.
For sure. Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of work to be done. And I feel like that's why I'm glad you brought up. And a lot of people have been bringing that up lately when I do podcasts. Like, okay, so like they fuck with the brand, but it's like, what all do you do? Like, what all does WAGDOD encompass? Like, we know you got the clothing, but what does it really stand for? And I'm glad that y'all bring these questions up, because when I go home and I sit down and I maybe smoke and really get into my thoughts, it helps me formulate better. What am I really doing? What are the, going back to the same shit I would tell another person, doing the things that make me feel good and also are helpful to other people, and finding ways to intertwine them. I've always loved giving out food to the homeless. I always like doing it. And I also enjoy thoroughly giving out information to people that I know, like, especially when I'm confident in that information. Like, I thoroughly enjoy giving that knowledge out that I know. It's like when it comes to that clothing shit, like I can tell you top to bottom how to start your business with damn near little to nothing and get it out of here. You feel what I'm saying? And I can also teach somebody how to, you know what I'm saying, manipulate their own mind into becoming a more positive version of themselves and being able to reach the level of success they need to.
I feel like you can get into public speaking.
I think I could too.
Yeah.
I know I can.
Yeah.
Yep. So that what I, especially like them young kids, like I just want them to know, like, you feel what I'm saying?
Like I'm here.
And you can be whatever it is you want to be. I want to put them in the driver's seat of their lives.
Ooh, that makes me think of the first guy that I had on the episode 1 of this podcast. His name is Nathan Roper, the storyteller. Definitely go check it out. Episode 1. I'll put a link in the description. He is a youth advocate. He's all about youth advocacy. He's also a boxer too.
Oh, that's perfect. That's,
yeah, bro.
They go right in line.
Yes, bro. So I would love to get you in touch with him. That's my guy. I love him.
Nathan Roper.
Nathan Roper. I'll send you his Instagram too.
Yeah.
So
sure.
I just wanted to bring that up because I saw the correlation. I was like, yeah, that would be dope.
That would be
community building, like we said.
That make all the sense in the world. Where you know him from? Like,
we met through BMW, and he was one of the first people that like really welcomed me with open arms. I did a couple of interviews with him. He's all about giving the voice back to the youth because he feels like the youth has been
got their voice stripped from them.
Yeah, and have been branded as you don't know enough, you're not whimsical enough, or you haven't had enough experience. And he's like, I'll be damned. Like, I bet there's kids out there with a lot more experience in a certain field than you do, especially creativity. Like Kanye said, you cannot give me any advice.
You don't have the answers, Sway. You don't have the answers.
It's funny that we bring them up in terms of like mental health talk too. So
no, for real.
Shout out to Ye, even though y'all may hate him, I still love the bro. He makes mistakes, but I still love the bro.
Yep. Everybody, especially being on that level of success, your ego is gonna get in the way sometimes.
Oh yeah, and also the things that you've been through as well. Like the music industry, like people will tell you, it's not the holiest place. It's not the brightest place at all. Nah. There's people in charge that want to push a certain image, and it's not positivity. So for him to go through that and break it down, become independent, go number one, and do all these things, regardless of the mistakes that he's made and some of the things that he should have not said, he still proves that he's a genius in a way. So shout out to him. Shout out to him.
For sure.
But yeah, bro. I want to know what other projects that you have in mind outside of feeding the homeless and expanding the brand that you're working on today.
Those are the main two, man. Like I did a podcast. It's called the Healing Community Office. So this is over on. It's similar
I saw that.
So it's similar to the place that you're talking about, and she got our own like little facility over. It's on Brown Road towards Overland, St. Anne area. Like,
I have to check that out for sure.
When I say, bro, it's just nice. It gives you like classroom vibes. Like it's just inviting when you go in there. She got free snacks, free drinks, all that stuff in there. It's just inviting. Like you go in there, it feel like you in like a 6th grade classroom. Like it just feels so inviting and happy in there. You feel what I'm saying? All the walls, different colors. She got like, you know how like them real creative teachers was that we had that used to just everything was a different color, different posters,
like
different
the origami hanging from.
like
bro.
She just got all that in there. So it's just when you come in there, you just feel like a kid again. Like it's just inviting being in there.
I'm back in like elementary school.
You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it just make you feel inviting being in there. So it was like I felt like it was the first day of school or something in the 5th grade or something. And I just got one of them cool ass teachers.
Yeah.
And that's what she do. So she just hosts different classes, dealing with mental health awareness and whatnot. And I'm trying to work with people like that own facilities like that, just doing anything. I don't care if it's just picking up the trash when the event is over with, just so I can look at it and get a better understanding for how they conduct those types of classes with kids, just so that way I can figure out where I could insert myself in that realm. You feel what I'm saying? Like how I could do that. So I want to learn. I want to go to them places like where you said Story Stitchers.
Story Stitchers, yeah.
Yeah, so
we have open studio tomorrow.
At what time?
It'll probably be around like 5 to 9.
Studio in what way?
So we have, and also this is good marketing. Story Stitchers offers DJing, producing. We have Mac computers all over the place where you can produce or edit your videos. That's where I edit all my videos. We have a strong community of people that want to help the youth primarily grow in this community, grow financially, grow creatively, especially, and inspire people to, hey, like, we got what you need. We want to be that resource. We want to be that place where you can come in. We have a full band set. If you play drums, practice drums here. We offer performances. We perform at the Art Museum a lot. We perform at City Hall sometimes. We perform at Forest Park. Like, we love venues to perform. Like, bro, there's this... Shout out Keith, by the way. Keith is one of the main people that I want to shout out. When I met Keith, he's only 17. He raps. He produces. He dances. Like, he can dance his ass off, bro. And he's 17. Like, almost a decade younger than me. Man. And I'm learning from him. So it's like, once again, back to the Kanye thing. You cannot give me any advice of somebody that owns a brand compared to the people that create the brand. People that create are primarily younger. Like, younger 30s and below. Like, bro, those are the creators of the world. It's not the ones that own the corporations. It's the ones that are working in the corporations, the creators. And like, being in Story Stitchers, it showed me, like, bro, I can learn from somebody that is a decade younger than me almost. So it's like, now you're in a place filled with teachers, and there are people that are young, that are older than me there. That actually work, and that are volunteers, and that are producers in their own light, musicians in their own light, and creating their own brand outside of Story Stitchers. But at the end of the day, Story Stitchers is a community where you can learn from everybody, younger or older than you. And I love it, bro. I love it. And I love being a presence there where I can share not only my ideas and my creativity, but also my wisdom, and also see the importance of building up the next generation, because the next generation are the real victims of what's going on in the world right now. And it's only going to get worse if we don't pay attention to it and inform the youth and give them that platform. Because as soon as you come out the womb and being a kid, like, you have the platform. You want the platform, even if you're not mentally seeking that, like intellectually seeking it, because you're a little kid, but you have no care and no problems in this world at all. You're just like, I'm going to do what I want because I love to do it and it makes me happy. And that's what we need to continue to preach, along with, like I said, that balance of wisdom, that balance of adulting, that balance of being able to guide your own life as well. And having that balance, bro, like, we're going to be able to build up communities and generations to come, for sure.
For sure.
So I know that your brand is doing that. I know my brand is doing that. I know there's thousands of brands all over, not only St. Louis, but all over the world, that is willing to, walk that fine line. And we can build a global community. That's how it needs to be. None of this separation, none of, oh, I live here and you live there. Like, we won't be able to relate. No matter all the differences in the world, there's always going to be that one similarity that brings people together. For sure. Relatability. So that's what brought us together.
Yeah,
so, facts. And I'm very appreciative of that. So
you gonna tell them about the journey we took, or
gonna
say that for the next one?
Say that for the next one. For sure. Because I'm gonna get ready to go to Story Stitchers here soon. So
for sure.
Yeah, bro. 2-hour conversation. I love it. Is there anything else that you want to say at all? Anything else that's on your mind?
Shit, just letting everybody know shit where they can find me. Find
me. Please.
WAGDOD. WAG as in God, D as in dog, O and D as in dog. WAGDOD. We're all gonna die one day, so live life to the fullest. You can find me everywhere at WAGDOD. It's WAGDOD. You type me in on Google. You can type me in on YouTube. You can type me in on
Instagram.
It literally everywhere.
Facebook.
I think I got some podcasts on Spotify. You can hey.
Yes, sir.
Look me up, man.
Let's go.
I'm ready. Yeah.
Blow them up, man. Blow them up. I appreciate you coming out, man.
Hell yeah.
Mine is Mine seeks to be the leading. I'm not even gonna say leading. It seeks to be. I want to find a different word because I always do an outro, but I want to find a different way to word it this time because leading is kind of egotistical. Like I'm just part of it. If anything, I'm part in the journey and the transcendence of consciousness worldwide. We seek to be a platform in which you can elevate yourself, find yourself, and understand that the mind is the greatest tool in history. That every idea and every creation that humanity has ever done has came from the mind, but it's also the greatest weapon as well if we do not treat it as such. So understand how to use your mind, understand how to be yourself, come into yourself.
Pause.
Yeah. Even my outros have pausable moments.
Pausable moment.
We got to still record that. But yeah, man, human consciousness, transcendence of consciousness is what I'm all about. Mine is Mine just seeks to be a safe haven, a support system for that, and help people evolve through the trials and tribulations that we spoke of on this episode. And it also has to do a lot in terms of mental health. So you got anything else?
That's it, man.
Awesome, man.
Glad to be here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, check out the YouTube channel. Check him out. And we out of here. Hey, thank you for staying after the YouTube video. Be sure to like, comment. It's important to share your voice and subscribe to my channel. There should be a video on the screen. If not, then there's something wrong. But follow me on social media, Instagram, X, whatever it may be. Also, check out my blog in the description box below. Other than that, my name is Houston. I hope you have a great day. Namaste.